Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the week that was in pro wrestling. Definitely a crazy week, and very interesting little week. So I'm going to be covering Monday Night Raw, NWA Power, and AEW Dynamite. Then I'm going to have some thoughts about the current direction for AEW. That might be a little controversial, but we're going to get there. So before that, we will cover Monday Night Raw, and it is revealed that who's on commentary? It's one half of the tag team champions, The Miz. Now it has been revealed that Pat McAfee was attending the funeral of his father-in-law. My prayers go out to him and his family. So The Miz is filling in, and he did a really good job, I'm gonna say. I'm slowly turning over on The Miz. Slowly. Not quite 100% there yet. And we start off with a Drew McIntyre promo. So it has been revealed on SmackDown last week that this whole retirement was pretty much a ploy, and he just wanted to get one over on CM Punk, which is very fair. Anyway, goes into a promo saying about last week, everyone was talking about me quitting. Not anymore. They're talking about what I did to Punk on SmackDown. It was so good that I'd like to see it again. So they show Drew McIntyre's attack on CM Punk on SmackDown, which I am definitely for. Drew goes on, I prayed for moments like this. I made it happen. And if you're still chanting CM Punk, I'm done with you. I spent months listening to who he is. The man screwed me over in my own country. You chant his name again, you're dead to me. Punk, I hope you're at home. You're uncomfortable. You're fed through a straw. I did that to you. And I also took this, which has the names of your wife and your dog on it, which its actual worth is about 50 cents. But I know it means the world to you. You wear this when you leave home, so you don't feel like you're alone. But now, Punk, you are alone. You are alone because of me. And now I'm going to enter the Money in the Bank match. Watch me win the case. And you're going to know what it feels like to be alone. But you're not alone. I'm not alone anymore. I have your family in my corner. Gonna win Money in the Bank. I'm gonna become champion in spite of your ass. Oh boy, them's fighting words, and this feud between Punk and Drew, I'm digging it. As much as I'm not a CM Punk guy anymore, which is very weird for me to say, this feud is doing it for me, and I'm thinking once Punk gets cleared to wrestle again, these two are going to have an absolute banger. Anyway, the next thing we see is footage from the Wyatt Six attack on Raw last week, which we'll get into that a little bit later, because that's... Anyway, we see Chad Gable coming around. He's being surrounded by security. He has sunglasses on. And when the interviewer or someone comes up to him trying to get an interview, he's like, no, not right now. Not right now. Trying to hide his face and trying to go in his locker room. Then we see the interviewer standing outside of Chad Gable's locker room, looking for answers, which, fair. Anyway, then we get a Ludwig Kaiser interview. It's definitely been a while since we've seen him. It's time for you all to forget about Sheamus. Braun is strong, is explosive, and fast. But tonight I'm going to prove that Braun is no Ludwig Kaiser. Nice, short and sweet interview right before this next match, as it's Braun Breaker taking on Ludwig Kaiser. And these two definitely had a much better match than Braun and Sheamus last week. Although Kaiser is a really, really, really good wrestler. Not saying Sheamus isn't a good wrestler. But Kaiser, I think, helped, mask the shortcomings a little bit of Braun Breaker. Anyway, just as Ludwig Kaiser was about to hit his running dropkick into the stairs on Braun Breaker, in comes Sheamus, who intercepts him with a big old knee, so that, singles a DQ, which I am getting tired of these. So then Sheamus is setting up the announce table. He gets Kaiser up, looks like he's going to powerbomb him through the announce table. Then Braun Breaker hits a spear to Sheamus, and he drops Ludwig Kaiser. So it turns out Kaiser got hurt from that little stunt. I hope he's okay and he heals up quick. I'm getting kind of sick of all the interference in these matches with Breaker, Sheamus, and Kaiser. If you're going to do this, let's have this triple threat and let's set up for Sammy's next challenger for his title. Although we're going to get to that in a minute. So we see Judgment Day backstage. Finn and JD are playing WWE 2K. Dominic Mysterio has this big old plate of chicken nuggets. And I don't mean like 10. It looked like a 50 piece. Which, that's hilarious. So then, Priest walks in. He asks Finn, "Yo, did you set this up?" Then Finn reveals, "No, it was actually gifts from Liv Morgan." So then he turns to Dom, who pretty much says, "Look, I still don't like her. These are just distractions." And then you see Dom reveal, "No, I also got this text message from Liv." Shows it. And everyone's like, "Ooh." And then Carlito's like, "That's cool." Oh, good lord. Then Damian Priest pretty much says, "Look, she's crazy. How are you going to explain to Rhea how Liv Morgan has your number?" And then Dom says, "Yeah, I'm going to end this with Liv tonight." So then Dom leaves. Priest turns to the rest of the group saying, "Look, this Braun Strowman situation should have been handled weeks ago." Priest then leaves. Then we have JD, Finn, and Carlito together pretty much saying, "Look, it's time we take care of this Braun Strowman problem once and for all. Strowman is in the back now. Let's go get him." Actually, we then see Braun Breaker. He's in the back. He gets to Adam Pearce's, the GM's door, knocks on it like a house of fire, pretty much saying, "Look, I'm sick of everyone getting involved in my business. Let me take care of it." Pierce says, "Let me take care of this stuff." Then we pan the camera. Sami Zayn standing right next to Breaker. Then he says, "Look, you wanted to challenge me? Anytime, any place, anywhere." Then Braun pipes up, "How about you versus me at Money in the Bank?" Then Sami Zayn says, "You got your match." So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting little matchup. I was half expecting a Fatal 4-Way, but yeah, this is going to be interesting because Braun has been long overdue for a title run, but I'm also kind of digging Sami's title run. Like, he's kept the importance of the Intercontinental title going. And, this is going to be interesting. We then get to our first of, I'd say, a couple Money in the Bank qualifying matches. This time it's the women, as we have Lyra Valkyria, Shayna Baszler, and Kairi Sane competing for a shot. And this match was really, really good, especially with Valkyrie and Sane and their high-flying stuff. Baszler with the ground and pound, which is always good. Near the end, you had Baszler having Valkyria in the Karafuda, in which Lyra counters up with a roll-up, only gets a 2. It's an Enziguri powerbomb combination, that only gets a 2. Actually, Sane breaks that up with an insane elbow, but then Lyra turns around, hits the Nightwing, gets the win, and qualifies for Money in the Bank. I would not mind Lyra winning Money in the Bank. She has been proving that she belongs up here. Then we cut to just outside of Adam Pearce's office, and you see Drew McIntyre talking with him, saying how, while Drew did declare himself for Money in the Bank, you gotta earn it, but you didn't think you deserved it because you were, you quit. So then Drew replies, do you think Punk and Seth deserves their spots? Believe you'll do the right thing, otherwise you'll know the meaning of the word disruption. Ooh. So next week we're going to get Drew versus Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov. Yes, please. Hook it up to my veins. So then we pan past them. We see Liv Morgan. She's heading to the ring. And she's ready for a promo. She's saying, oh, Dominic, since I couldn't find you backstage, I thought I'd come out here to get your attention in front of everybody. I hope you liked the gifts I sent you, because if not, I hope you liked the text I sent you. And once you get it together and realize this is what you want, Rhea doesn't care about you like I do. Come on out so I can give you one more. But instead of Dawn coming out right away, it's Zelina Vega of the LWO. And she's saying, look, I got a gift for everyone here, and that's shutting you up. And why are you so obsessed with Rhea's sloppy seconds? Dang, that's, oof. Okay. And while you're out chasing Dom, I've been here chasing the title. And then Liv replies, this title is the most important thing in my life. Zelina Vega then slaps back. And fun is the only thing you've been worried about. You schemed for your opportunities while I'm here on the side starving for one. You know what sounds like fun to me? Putting your title on the line here tonight. Liv replies, I'd love to, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. How about next week? And then Vega replies, I'm not waiting a whole week. And before anyone can throw hands, out comes Dominic Mysterio. He's trying to address Zelina, but then Liv Morgan interrupts, saying, oh, did you like the gifts I sent you? Dom then replies, no, I didn't like them. Liv replies, did you like the text? Vega then interrupts, saying, what is going on here? Are you two afraid to fight? I didn't know you needed your man to get in your way if you're going to fight for the title. Then Dom replies, yeah, I'm not her man. You want to hear this? No, you and Rhea have differences. That's an understatement. I see anyone but her with the title, and I don't need your help. So then, as Dom is going to leave the ring, Liv attacks Vega from behind. Out comes Rey Mysterio to break out the two women, and then Dom attacks Rey from behind. And Dom goes to leave the ring. Liv is pretty much right behind him like a trained little dog. I'm going to say this. This is kind of an uncomfortable story for me because of, what's going on in the real world with Vince McMahon and his cases. So I kind of hope they tune this down a little, because this is starting to get into the sexual assault storyline that I don't think needs to be on TV. Anyway, so we then get a medical update on Chad Gable. It is revealed that medical personnel are in his locker room. As the reporter is saying this, out comes Adam Pearce, who says Gable is a bit shaken up, but he's focused on the match. He's asked about the Wyatt Six, and then Adam Pearce says, that's not my story to tell. We then get a little recap and a little video package of Seth Rollins from WrestleMania till now, including a nice little training montage, which is very... I miss stuff like that. Anyway, then we see Dom walking. Liv is right behind him. Then Liv kind of pins him up against the wall, saying, look, thank you for being my hero and saving me from your father. I don't like him. He's a deadbeat. That was Dom to Liv. And then Liv hugs Dom. Dom leaves. Then all of a sudden, R-Truth comes in. And he's talking about, was that Dom and Nick? Which is, a joke from earlier on when Truth was in Judgment Day. Which was not a bad storyline, but went on way too freaking long. Anyway, Liv then replies like, yeah, I love that. Love is in the air. He's doing nothing but playing hard to get. I need to get Dom a match on next week. But I also need to get Judgment Day a match. Truth says, ooh, I don't like Judgment Day. Liv then pretty much says, look, I'd love to match. Judgment Day would love to have a match with the greatest tag team in the world. And why don't you go to Adam Pearce and make sure to get this match? And then as she leaves, Truth says, I love Carmella. Then Miz jumps off the announce table, literally taking his headphones off, running to the back. So it's just Michael Cole the rest of the time. Who, I'll say this, he's not bad, but he needs someone to bounce off of. And Miz was just about perfect for that role. Sad to see him go, but I do understand there is a story to tell. Next up, we got our next round of qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank ladder match, as we have Braun Strowman taking on Bronson Reed, taking on Chad Gable. And Chad, he's looking around the arena, nervous, looking out for the Wyatts. Then he gets on the microphone. He asks the crowd, do you all believe in miracles? The rumors of my demise have been exaggerated. I was left for dead by monsters, but Gable cannot be killed. What I had to do was an act of bravery, as I now face two monsters, and I'm going to win this match, win Money in the Bank, and call myself Monster in the Bank. And this match starts off with Chad Gable chopping both guys, complete no-sell. Then we see both big guys dump Chad Gable to the outside. They do stuff together. Then Bronson Reed clotheslines Braun Strowman over the top. And then he just big Superman dive to the outside, which Bronson Reed is unbelievable, man. Really nice back and forth matchup. Gable goes for a moonsault, but Braun Strowman pushes him from the top rope. And then as he hits the power slam on Reed, Judgment Day comes in and attacks. Now this is no DQ, so this, fine, whatever. They fight up the ramp. Braun Strowman starts to fight back, but then Finn Balor with a chop block right to Strowman's knee. Chad Gable then hits the moonsault on Reed to pick up the win. I enjoyed a whole lot of this match. While I am a little sick of interference, it does go well with Judgment Day's story against Braun Strowman. So we'll see what happens next. Now next up, as Chad Gable is celebrating, lights start going out in the arena. The smoke machine starts going. Then we hear the familiar music. Boom, boom, boom. Then we see Abby, who I'm going to call Abby. I don't really know who she really is right now. She sneaks in the ring behind Chad Gable. Gable sees her, kind of crawls his way to the corner of the ring. Abby army crawls at least kind of into his face. Then Gable rolls out of the ring, hightails it up the ramp. Then Abby turns to the announce table, gets out of the ring, and then she has a box. I don't know where she got this box. Did she always have this box? I don't know. But then she walks over to the announce table, places right in front of Michael Cole, baby. And then she leaves through the crowd. So then Michael Cole is, trying to do a little play-by-play over it, while the crowd is chanting, "Open it, open it." He does. It's a VHS tape that says, "Play me," which is ominous. And it was also addressed to Pat McAfee, which is interesting. So, I know I'm a little morbid, but I was kind of hoping it was a heart. But, yeah, that's just me. I don't know why. But I'm okay with the tape because we get to see on that tape a little later. Anyway, then we see Michael Cole give the tape to someone in production we never really see, which might be a clue, honestly. Knowing these Wyatts, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, so we see Chad Gable. He's scared out of his mind. He goes up to the Alpha Academy locker room, knocking on the door like he's just seen a ghost. And then out comes Big Man Otis, and he says, "Oh, it's so good to see you. Is everyone else in there?" So out comes Tozawa and Maxine Dupree. And then he says, "Look, my last couple of weeks have been hell. My life flashed before my eyes, and all I could see was you, my family. And it takes a big man to admit that I'm wrong. I'm sorry. And families fight, but they stick together." And then Otis chimes in and says, "Those who hurt my family isn't family. I meant what I said. We are done." And then he and Tozawa walk into the locker room, but Maxine stays with Gable for a minute saying, "Look, what happened to you out there the last couple of weeks was absolutely terrifying. Let me see if I can talk to Otis and we can get something together." So she goes back into the locker room. Then in walks the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, with one of them saying, "Hey, you okay, Gable?" Gable then says, "No, I'm not okay." And as the screen cuts to the next scene, Gable blurts out, "I need help," which is, this partnership has definitely been a long time coming. Gable and the Creeds, I like it. Maybe we'll see a Chad Gable on a pole match between the Academy and the Creeds. Could you imagine? Oh, I hope not. Triple H, do not do that, please. Anyway, we go to our next tag team match, playa, as it's Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the current tag team champions, taking on Caden Carter and Katana Champs, former champions. Now, this isn't a title match, so this is, qualifying match, whatever you want to call it. Kind of number one contenders match. This match was a lot of fun. Dawn and Fire and Dawn are really dynamic in what they can do. Carter and Chance, maybe a little bit limited, but they are very, very good high flyers. Near the end, Chance and Carter hit the keg stand, only for a 2 count. Go for party time, but that gets countered into a roll-up, only for a 2. Then we get Fire and Dawn hitting a Gory Bomb leg sweep combination move, which is probably crazy to figure out, to pick up the win. And as Fire and Dawn are celebrating, out comes, the entire healthy version of Damage Control. So that's Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Get well soon, Asuka. And they attack pretty much everyone in the match, with Io hitting an over the moonsault on, I think it was Fire and Dawn. So, we got our flag planted for the next feud. We'll see if Fire and Dawn get anyone as backup. Then we see, next up, Damian Priest. He's in the back. He's just about to enter the Judgment Day locker room. Then we see Liv Morgan leaving it, and she's like, "Oh, hi, Priest." She leaves. Priest goes in. Only one in there is Finn Balor. Then Priest kind of yells at Finn, "What'd she come in here to get?" Finn replies, "Look, we got Dom to take out Ray. We got a tag team title shot tonight. We'll take it. And while it seems too good to be true, I'm going to handle my business. Good luck with yours." And they just kind of fist bump. So we're definitely seeing some cracking within Judgment Day. I think a breakup is pretty much imminent, so we'll see what happens there. Then we see Miz backstage. He finally finds R-Truth. Miz asks Truth, "You didn't talk to Pierce yet, did you?" And then Truth says, "Yeah, the match is made, and I love love." Miz then replies, "I don't care about Liv and Dom. I care about us. I care about the titles." So it looks like Miz is kind of starting to go heel again. But we'll discuss that a little later. Then we have a Damian Priest in ring promo. He says, "We all saw that Seth Rollins video. It's humbling, it's inspiring. And while he says he sees a version of himself in me, we're both standing out as leaders and bringing others up. I get what he sees in me. I see a man I don't want to become. I don't want to stand in the ring with someone better. And as long as I'm champion, you'll never see the mountaintop again." Out comes Seth Rollins, saying, "You may have the title, but this is still the Seth Rollins Monday Night Rollins." And they're all going to sing for Seth. Seth continues, "Look, here's the deal. You continue to run your mouth out here, but let's get this straight. As long as you're champ, I'm never getting that back. That's a bold. Problem is, I don't believe you. You and your false bravado. And if you need me to spell it out, I don't buy you as the top. Your actions and your words don't add up. You say you don't need help, but in every title defense you've had as champion, you've needed help either with the Judgment Day or CM Punk. And without that help, you wouldn't be champion in the first place." Priest then replies, "Look, I didn't ask for anyone's help, but I got it anyway. You can't change what happened. And looking at you hold a whole lot of nothing. For now, I got a lot of respect for you, but don't want to be one to upend. So here's one up to you. A challenge for challenge. Sweeten the pot a little. A side bet, if you will. This is Seth. If you win, if Priest wins, you get your wish. As long as you're champion, I never get to challenge for the title again. However, if I, Seth Rollins, win, we get to see if you can stand on your own. If you lose, you leave Judgment Day." So then Priest replies, "You're going to find out if you can really..." No, this is still Seth, actually. "And we're going to find out if you can really walk a mile in my shoes." Priest then replies, "I like it. I'm champion. Judgment Day, they need me more than I need them. I accept." So then they shake hands. In agreement. Out comes the King of the Ring, Gunther. No crown, which I am more than happy by. He gets in the ring. He grabs a microphone. He says, "I fully understand a lot on the line here. At Money in the Bank, Seth, the workhorse, versus the man carrying Raw on his back. Good luck to you two. I cannot wait to see this match, and may the better man win. However, at SummerSlam, the better man will be lesser man against me." Oh, Gunther. Stamp of approval right there. And, man, this puts my predictions in a little bit of an indecision. I don't know who's going to win at Money in the Bank. Because, honestly, either one would be a pretty worthy challenger to Gunther. Anyway, then we finally get it. What's on the Wyatt 6 VHS? We see in the background, it's the Firefly Funhouse set, but it's all run down. Pictures are worn. Paint is chipping off the wall. It's all in black and white. One side, we see Uncle Howdy, and he's conducting an interview with who? Bo Dallas. What? Anyway, so interview pretty much goes right into it as Uncle Howdy asks Bo, how'd you feel when your brother died? What? So Bo pretty much says, look, I was crushed. I thought when we both came back, we would run WWE, but that was taken away from me. Blah, 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 blah. Then Uncle Howdy asks, what is your goal now? And Bo kind of doesn't really answer the question, but he pretty much says, look, we were all lost in the Wyatt Six, but now we found our way back, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Uncle Howdy says, you're absolutely right. And that's where the video ends. I've missed stuff like this. Like, I know a lot of people, once Bray Wyatt was in his prime, doing, the cult leader stuff, or doing the Fiend stuff, saying like, oh, this is hokey, this isn't wrestling. I loved that stuff. That stuff brought me back time and time again. Because I just love Bray Wyatt's shtick, whether it was his early, cult leader gimmick, the Uncle Rogers / Fiend stuff. Hell, even when he came back doing whatever he was trying to do with Uncle Howdy. And now it has been passed on to his brother and a few select others. So, also I'm going to say this. I hope we have a couple more of these with the other characters in the Wyatt Six. Because that would kind of explain what's going on with these guys. And I think that's pretty necessary for me. Anyway, we go on to our next match, as it's Karrion Kross taking on Kofi Kingston. And as Kofi's making his entrance, Woods does come out, but he doesn't look so enthused. So then he walks to the back. They go for a decent little TV match where Kross finally looked like a beast against Kofi Kingston. And as Kofi was about to hit Trouble in Paradise, the Final Testament show up on the big screen, and it's showing AOP attacking Woods in the back. And Kofi was looking like he was going to help. Kross pulls Kofi back in the ring, hits the final prayer, which is a great name for a finisher, to pick up a big win. And that honestly, fine little TV match. Kross may not be my favorite guy going in wrestling right now, but they're doing some pretty interesting stuff with him. Hopefully this continues. Maybe we see him get a title opportunity soon. Even if it is, the Intercontinental title. We then get a little recap of Jacob Fatu's debut on SmackDown, which, if you haven't seen that, go give it a watch. It was awesome. And fine, Alamo, we got our main event for Raw, and it's for the World Tag Team Championships, as Judgment Day, not Balor and Priest this time, but Balor and JD McDonough take on The Miz and R-Truth. And this match was fun for what it was. Judgment Day definitely fought hard in the beginning. Miz and Truth fought back after a little bit. And about halfway down, after Balor got clotheslined over the top, Liv Morgan comes out and kind of stands with these two, I guess making a strategy? I don't know what's going on there. So they get back in the ring, lots of really good back and forth. And then out comes Dom and Carlito to take out The Miz, who is on the outside. Miz fights them off after a little bit. JD with a crossbody only for a 2 count. It's a Truth hits a code breaker Then a double DDT, only for 2. Then Dom gets up on the apron to distract Miz. Big ol' roll up, only for a 2. Truth with an STF, but Carlito puts McDonough's foot on the ropes, so that's only 2. Miz then attacks Carlito. JD with a big old headbutt. Out comes Braun Strowman, who chases out Dom and Carlito. Balor and Truth tag in. Truth with a 5 moves of doom, so that's a couple of shoulder tackles, suplex, 5-knuckle shuffle. Initially that gets blocked, but then Truth with a takedown, an STF, but JD McDonagh breaks it up. Double dropkick, suplex. Truth with a roll up, only for 2. Gets the 5-knuckle shuffle, goes for the... No, hits the attitude adjustment. But then Liv gets up on the apron, and it looks like she's getting a little chummy with our Truth, giving him a hug. Then, bang! Over the top rope to the neck. Finn Balor with a drop kick and a coup de grace. So your winners and new tag team champions, the Judgment Day. And as JD and Finn are celebrating on the ramp, Liv Morgan is also out, and they're holding up all their gold. So, we still got the breakup of the Judgment Day coming, with maybe Liv taking over? So does that mean Rhea's coming back as a babyface? Who knows? We'll see. It's definitely very intriguing, and I am more than happy that Awesome Truth don't have the tag team titles anymore. As much as I appreciate them for defending them all the time, which I'm all about, they don't really feel like they needed the titles all that long. Was it a nice moment at WrestleMania? Absolutely. But, yeah, they didn't need a long run. Anyway, so that was Monday Night Raw. Very interesting night. A lot of good wrestling. A lot of interesting moments. Although, again, uncomfortable with the Liv Dom thing, because it's teetering on sexual assault a little bit. So, we'll see where that goes. We now move on to NWA Power. And we're continuing with the Crockett Cup. As we have Looks That Kill. That's Natalia Markova and, not Austin Idol, Bill Idol, I think his name is, against Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. And at first, we have Markova and Murdoch in. Natalia is just trying to do normal moves. Murdoch isn't really trying to lock up because he's not trying to hurt a woman, which, yeah, totally fair. I get it. But I think this is why Natalia's in the match. Eventually, Natalia just starts striking Murdoch right in the face. Tags in Idol. Then we finally get Murdoch getting in some offense. Although Idol with a beautiful sling blade. That was awesome. Goes for a splash. Gets caught right into a spine buster. Mike Knox comes in. Goes for an elbow drop. Completely whiffs. Idol stays on Knox for a little while. It's a suplex. Only gets a 2 count. Eventually, Knox gets Murdoch back in. Hits a nasty clothesline. Knox gets in. Hits a couple of chops. Couple of strikes. Goes for a suplex, but Idol immediately counters into a DDT. Natalia and Murdoch both simultaneously tag in. Markova with a couple of drop kicks. Dive to the outside. Gets him back in. Hits a beautiful destruction kick. Idol tags in. It's a clothesline, a super kick. Goes for the moonsault, misses. Murdoch tags in Knox. High-low. So your winners, moving on in the tournament, are Knox and Murdoch. This was definitely an interesting match that the dynamic in it was interesting, but the action, these four brought it. Great fun opener. So post-match, interviewer gets in the ring, interviews Knox and Murdoch, who now have the Southern Six in their sights. So Murdoch says, "Oh, the Southern Six. Didn't the last time we faced each other, we bounced your faces off of a steel cage? Well, now it's time to do it again." As Knox and Murdoch look for the repeat. So that's definitely a very interesting matchup, especially now with what's going on with Mason. I hope he's okay. So next up, it's for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title. It was supposed to be Alonzo versus Alex Taylor of the Southern Six, but Taylor got drafted in for the Crockett Cup. So now it is a mystery opponent who is revealed to be Jack Cartwheel. Always great to see this guy. He is absolutely outstanding, and he did not disappoint in this match. And neither did Joe Alonzo. These two had some great chemistry together. Really nice back and forth, with Joe taking some shortcuts, including a nasty looking hair pull. One point, Cartwheel goes for a crucifix bomb, only gets a 2 count. Goes for the Death Valley driver, that gets blocked by Joe Alonzo. Alonzo tried for the Joey Special, that gets blocked. Gets backdropped over the top. Jack Cartwheel, the massive dive to the outside, brings him back in. Goes for the moonsault, misses. Joe Alonzo with the most dope and the Joey Special to pick up the win. This match was absolutely excellent. Really good chemistry between these two guys. And I'm going to say, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's awesome. We then get our last quarterfinal match of the Crockett Cup, as we have Max the Impaler and Judas taking on Damage and Carnage, aka BFT, aka the Tag Team Champions. And this match, there was no rest holds, there was no suplexes. This was a straight up fight. Like this, they brawled with each other right to the start. Really good, just strikes, elbow strikes, big boots, some body slams. But it was just action, action, action all the way through. Until eventually, Aaron Stevens, who manages BFT, goes for the loaded glove shot on Max the Impaler, who's on the outside. Misses. So Max chases Aaron Stevens up the ramp. James Mitchell tries to chase Max down to get her back into the ring. Judas goes for a choke slam that only gets a 1 count. BFT with a sidewalk slam splash combination to pick up the win. So post-match, we get an interview with BFT, aka Aaron Stevens, who says, "While we know everything is bigger in Texans, including the stupidity in this room, you would just witnessed the greatest team in wrestling, and no one compares to the Tag Team Champs, as Blunt Force Trauma is an unstoppable machine." So Stevens really hyping up his boys. This match was definitely something different from the first match, but it was still really enjoyable. I liked everyone involved. And BFT moves on. Not really surprised there. So, we got our semifinals set. Let's see who we got in the future. Who's going to be the Ultimate Crockett Cup winner? And that leaves us with AEW Dynamite. And we start off with what we thought was an MJF promo. But before he can really get going, out comes Daniel Garcia, and they're in Buffalo, so hometown pop. MJF says, look, these guys love you, but right now, tread lightly. Garcia then replies, I thank you for helping me, for dealing with my business last week, but I don't know why you're out here. You've said some bad stuff about my family in the past. But MJF, I'm going to turn it around on you, and I'm going to say some nice things about you. So, 9 months ago, while I was sitting in the back in catering, I was watching you have the best match of your career, and you absolutely killed it. After the match, you came to talk to me in the back. You saw me as a pillar of AEW. And then I asked, could I challenge you for the title? And while I did lose that match, the loss pushed me to the next level. Now I'm someone with respect. But I'm not just going to settle being a pillar. I want to be the future of AEW. And for that, I thank you. And then Garcia continues, and I'm going to let you know right now, you're going to look real two-faced saying anything bad. Then MJF, with the best reaction, just a big old conniving grin on his face, saying, look, I didn't come out here to insult you or your family. I'm just going to show Forbidden Door for a minute, and so I make my return for Collision. I was just about to ask you out here because I got a question for you. Thank you. No one has ever talked about the good I've done here in AEW, and you're one guy who's close to taking my spot, but I didn't give you that chance because of your name or your lineage. You earned it. You remind me of a young me. And when I gave you that opportunity, I beat you without breaking a sweat. But now I've seen you've grown so much, and I'm buying your ass? I don't know what that means. Anyway, so you didn't run from the grind. You are the grind. So now I'm going to give you another shot at the top, because at All In, it's going to be Daniel Garcia versus MJF. Whoa. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, that's not a big match. That's not a big match. Who cares? I care. This is MJF putting a young guy on a pedestal. Putting the future, not just of AEW, but the future of this business up where he belongs. Now, is that going to main event? Probably not. But the fact that Daniel Garcia is getting this chance, can't be more proud. Anyway, out comes Will Ospreay, which is big surprise. Gets in the ring, grabs a microphone, pretty much says, I love the way you're getting your shot. I appreciate getting Forbidden Door out of the way. So how about next week you get your shot at the international title? And also, why don't I sweeten the deal when I put the world title on the line too? So next week, for all the gold, let's get it on. Daniel Garcia then says, hold on. No, wait. Ospreay leaves. Garcia turns back to MJF, who says, hold on, that's a huge opportunity. Focus on that. Best of luck. So then MJF leaves, leaving Daniel Garcia in the middle of the ring. Oh boy, those are some two big opportunities for Daniel Garcia. I'm glad he's getting some recognition now. This guy is a great wrestler, and honestly, I'm going to hoping he beats Ospreay. Just so he can get a little bit of gold finally. Then we see Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. They're watching normally in the back on the monitor. They turn to the camera. Swerve says, Ospreay, you're already offering shots before you win. I've already told you don't have the strength for both titles. So how about tonight we focus on the Gates of Agony? You better be there, and you better be in a good mindset. Oh, yeah, definitely some fighting words from Swerve. We're going to get that tag match in the main event. But first, we get a sort of Forbidden Door preview match. As we got the Blackpool Combat Club, that's Claudio Castagnoli, IWGP World Champion Jon Moxley, and Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta, the Blackpool Combat Club, taking on Shingo Takagi, Hiroshi Takahashi, and Titan of Los LIJ. I'm not going to be able to say that full name, ever. And, oh boy, this match was a cluster, you know what? But it was so dang good, especially when we had Claudio versus Shingo. That was awesome. Yuta versus Titan. Titan is so underrated. Man, this match was so good. Really good back and forth. But eventually, Mox gets in there. Hold on, wait. Actually, match ends as, everybody's kind of in there brawling. Moxley comes in with a steel chair and just whacks Shingo with a chair. Match is thrown out. There's a big old brawl in the ring. But then someone's music plays. It's Tetsuya Naito's. And announcers are like, oh, is he here? Is he here? Comes out on stage. He's got his entrance attire, which is a suit, by the way. He starts taking it off, revealing the LIJ t-shirt. He's starting to take off his pants, but then Jon Moxley rushes him, and they just start brawling up the ramp. And as Shingo is beating down Yuta, in comes Bryan Danielson, who breaks that up as a little stare down with Shingo. If you aren't at least a little bit excited for these two matches, you're insane. Now, am I a little disappointed this match ended in DQ? Yeah, a little bit. But I'm kind of okay with it because AEW very rarely does DQ finishes. Anyway, we go to our next first round match of the Owen Hart Cup, as it's Jay White taking on Rey Fenix. And you see outside the ring, Penta and Alex Abrahantes are looking to fend off the ring from Juice Robinson and the Guns. They have steel chairs. They're just kind of threatening each other, not really making a move. Ref sees this, points to all five of them, throws them out of the match. Really heads up by the referee. Love that. And this match, right into the veins. This match was awesome. This was a great old match. Really back and forth. Rey Fenix with a big frog splash, only for a 2 count. Goes for a super kick that gets caught into a brainbuster, right into a DDT, right into a brainbuster, only for a 2 count. Ray Phoenix tries for a roll-up. That only gets a 2. Jay White with a Uranagi for a 2. Goes for the Blade Runner. That gets blocked into a roll-up for 2. Goes for the Blade Runner again. Blocked. Penta with Ray Phoenix with a pile driver. That gets blocked. Eventually, Jay White gets the Blade Runner to pick up the win. Rest of the Bang Bang Gang come out. They're celebrating. But then out comes someone very interesting. Christian Cage, Kill Switch, Nick Wayne of the Patriarchy. Looks like they come down to the ring. Christian Cage gets on the first step, but then you have the Bang Bang Gang kind of right up in their face on the turnbuckle in the corner. Patriarchy backs off, walks back up the ramp. So, yeah, definitely some interesting setup for a future match. Maybe at All In? I'm not sure. So, anyway, we go backstage. It's the EVPs and the Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, who are here to address a little business. We brought in the titles, but Acclaimed, you took advantage. But when the titles are on the line, things are going to go differently. We have Okada as champion. Jack Perry's going to win the TNT title. So in the Owen Hart Cup, we picked the wild card. And he's going to bring the Owen Hart Trophy to the Elite. So, this means one of a couple... Well, this probably means one thing. Return of Hangman Adam Page. Last time we saw him, he was definitely a heel against Swerve. Took some time off after that. Now he's probably going to be back. Probably going to win the Owen, which I am definitely all for. Then we go back down to the ring. It's the promo from the Acclaimed. Saying, like last week, the Acclaimed beat the Young Bucks. Result that surprises absolutely no one. We got our title shot, and we exposed you for the soft EVPs you are. It's clear you cannot run this company, and we're getting our titles back. After we beat you guys one more time. Max Caster passes it to Bowens, who says, "You can make all the excuses. We're going to pick our time to cash in this match and become the first ever 2-time tag team champions." And before they can continue, out comes the Elite minus Jack Perry. And Okada pretty much says, "Scissor on me, bitch." Then one of the Jacksons pretty much says, "First item at the agenda. At Forbidden Door, it's going to be the 3 of us versus the 3 of you in 6-man tag. Next, we're going to come down there and beat up all 3 of you." Then Billy Gunn gets on the microphone. Pretty much says, "Look, I know how to deal with authority figures. I got friends in high places. Heck, I know a president." So on the big screen is Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, playing a vignette saying he's going to be joining the Acclaimed and become the Scissor Ace. I'm so glad he's not taking this so seriously. This is great. Tanahashi teaming with the Acclaimed to take on Okada and the Young Bucks. If you're not at least a little bit excited for this, you're absolutely out of your mind. So then we get backstage interview with Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly. And we got a new name for this group. It's the Conglomeration. As Mark Briscoe says, "Look, we're going to be in the Big Apple. I'm going to add to my title collection, win the TNT title. Cassidy is going to take down Zack Sabre Jr. But tonight, Kyle O'Reilly has something to say. So Kyle O'Reilly calls out Zack Sabre Jr. No more fish and chips, boy. And I'm going to beat you this week to soften you up for Cassidy. Kyle O'Reilly is... like, he's trying his absolute best not to laugh. But it's so much better when he does. Because he's so entertaining. And, yeah, I can't wait for that match either. Kyle O'Reilly versus Zack Sabre Jr. Plug that in. Next up, we got 6 women tag team match. As we got Timeless Toni Storm teaming up with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa, her opponent for Forbidden Door, to take on Saraya, Anna Jay, and Harley Cameron. And I know I'm going to get roasted a little by this. Whenever Harley comes out, I can never remember her name. Like, whenever I take notes and Harley's involved, I'm always like, who the heck is this? And then the announcer says it, and I'm like, oh, freaking duh. So, yeah, go ahead and roast me if you want. I'm sorry, Harley. I'm sure you're a lovely person. This match was a little weird, because it felt like it was rushed a little bit. But it also felt like a lot of people got their stuff in, including Toni Storm and Mariah May hitting dual hip attacks, which is great. At one point, Toni Storm tags in on May, but then so does Mina. So I was a little confused by what was going on. Some more back and forth, including a nice backstabber from Mina, only for a 2 count. Harley goes for an knee to feet that gets blocked. Mina with a spinning back fist and hits the Mina driver to pick up the win for her and her team. So as Mina and Toni Storm are kind of having a little stare down, Mariah May gets 3 glasses of champagne for all 3. They all cheers. They all drink it down. They all toast. Then Mina goes into the corner, grabs the bottle of champagne, goes to attack Toni Storm with it. She moves out of the way. Mina hits Mariah May. Now with Mariah May down, Toni and Mina are both checking on her, making sure she's good. Then they turn to one another. They have the most intense stare down I've ever seen. Like, jeez, that was wild. And then eventually officials come in. They hold those 2 back. We then get a hype video for the TBS title match between Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vergeer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Then we get a Mercedes Moné promo who says, look, I flew down to Mexico to watch you wrestle, and I'm here on AEW. Where are you? That's the price you pay when you mess with Moné. I know you have a match this Saturday on Collision. I'll be sitting front row. And then at Forbidden Door, 2-belt Moné is Moné. And yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Not the greatest promo from Moné. Like, she has definitely done better. But it definitely gets me pretty hyped for the match. And we go for a Learning Tree promo. As Jericho calls out Hook, Shibata, and Joe. Look what you did to our Apple, aka Brian Keith. So you're going to challenge us to a 6-man tag at Forbidden Door. But now we are out without our third man. However, when one door closes, another forbidden door opens. And everyone who knows me, I'm in AEW for the young guys. And this is why I bring them into my vortex. So Samoa Joe, the joke is on you. I found myself another partner. And I gotta, like you, just like Tanahashi, I got a video from our guy. And we're going to watch it all together. And at Forbidden Door, you're going to learn a hard lesson from the learning tree. Because our partner is Minoru Suzuki. Now, I'm going to say this. I was hoping this was going to be Toru Yano. Just because that would be funny as heck. But, so the Suzuki video plays where he says, yeah, what the heck is a learning tree? I want nothing to do with that. Instead, I want Jericho one-on-one for the FTW title. What a twist! And then Brian Keith's like, did he just call Jericho chicken? Nobody disrespect Jericho. As that's happening, out comes Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Samoa Joe has the sticks, saying, well, isn't this awkward? You were looking for a savior, but you struck out again. And the learning tree must, like your family tree, must not have many branches. Funny thing is, Shibata can sum it up better than anyone. So on his phone, where he has like the text to chat function, Shibata says, oh brother, you suck. Jericho then slaps Samoa Joe. Joe goes after Jericho. Shibata and Hook go after Big Bill because Brian Keith is actually hurt. And the learning tree bail out of the ring as the baby faces stand tall. Now, I'm not sure what this means. Are we actually going to get the FTW title match instead of the 6-man? Or is the 6-man still on? Because I'm not sure what's going on here. Or is Jericho double booked? Because that would be strange. Anyway, we go to our next matchup as it's two ring generals. As Kyle O'Reilly takes on Zack Sabre Jr. But sitting at ringside, it's Roderick Strong, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven of the Kingdom, and Bullet Club War Dog member Gabe Kidd. I remember the first time I saw Gabe Kidd on WCPW. He was a standout. I'm glad he's on AEW TV. Let's see what he does. And this match, technical masterpiece. Does not get better than this. A lot of really good takedowns. Eventually they turned it up a new level. Started just kicking the pudding out of one another. One point, we had Zack Sabre Jr. hold in the abdominal stretch, but Kyle gets out of it. Submissions happen like that, where it looks like it's in, but the opponent gets out of it. Eventually, Zack Sabre Jr. locks in the armbar to pick up the submission win. And Shibata, he's kind of standing over Kyle O'Reilly. Orange Cassidy, who has been on commentary for this match, comes down, checks on Kyle O'Reilly, has a little stare down with Zack Sabre Jr. Then coming out of the crowd, Undisputed Kingdom and Gabe Kidd, as they also check on Kyle. Then out come Robbie Eagles and Shane Haste of TMDK. That's the partners of Zack Sabre Jr. and his stable. Then out for backup comes Tomohiro Ishii, who is in the Chaos faction with Orange Cassidy, which is hilarious. So then we get a stare down between TMDK and Cassidy and Ishii as the Kingdom, and roll Kyle O'Reilly out of the ring. Eagles then pushes Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy looks to go hit Robbie Eagles, but Ishii holds him back. And yeah, that ends that segment. Match was absolutely glorious. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy. That's going to be a fun one. And next, we go to our main event of the evening, as we have Swerve Strickland teaming with Will Ospreay, a kind of can they coexist storyline, to take on the Gates of Agony. And this match, while I knew Ospreay and Swerve were going to win, they put over the Gates of Agony like they were world beaters. Like, at every point you saw a near fall for the Gates, thinking, oh, maybe here. Near the end, looks like Gates of Agony are going to hit and open the gates. That gets blocked. Will Ospreay with a couple of super kicks. Goes for a Rana. That gets blocked. Then Swerve hits a big boot, in which starts the momentum for Ospreay for the Rana. Ospreay hits the Os Cutter, only for a 2 count. Gets an arm... then Swerve gets one of the other Gates of Agony in with an arm snap, in which we see Ospreay's reaction with, like, kind of taken aback a little bit. Ospreay with a hidden blade on his opponent to pick up the win for him and Swerve. Post-match, as Swerve's going to leave with the title, Ospreay grabs it, puts the AEW title over his shoulder, opposite the international title. Then Swerve, with a house call from behind, Swerve takes his title back to end the program. And I'm going to say this, that was a heck of an ending to a go-home show. Was this the best episode of Dynamite ever? Probably not, but it was very, very entertaining. I liked a whole lot of what happened. Although I do wish the women's tag match went maybe a smidge longer. Now that my review is over, I'm going to say something a little bit controversial. Now, I am by far a big AEW sicko, without a shadow of doubt. However, looking at these ratings these last couple weeks, maybe since the start of 2024, they're looking a little bit low to me. Now, I will say this, I don't let ratings dictate my enjoyment of a show or not. However, I do want to see AEW thrive a little bit more. And get more eyes on product. Get more, dare I say it, butts in seats. So I think AEW needs to do something a little bit different. Maybe employ some sports entertainment stuff into its wrestling promotion. Now, I'm not saying they need to go full WWE, but maybe a little sprinkle of sports entertainment stuff would do AEW a world of good. And maybe get some, dare I say, butts in seats. Alright, that's it for me. I've gone on long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video. Comment what you thought about this week in wrestling. And I'm probably not going to be reviewing SmackDown or Rampage this week, because I have some company coming over. We'll try to do Collision, but we'll see. Till then, happy wrestling, everybody. Enjoy Forbidden Door. That's going to be a good one. And peace.